Hey, Shalom, it's your brother Thun. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And I want to say Shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth and sincerity. All right, may the blessing of election be upon you. All right, so the title of this lesson is uh, The Righteous Preserved in Trouble. Because although it seems like the wicked are winning, when you come in this walk and you start applying the Lord's ways to your life, you're getting tested at every turn, like it says in Sirach 2, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. You're going to be tested, right? You're applying the Lord's ways to your life, and it's like you're getting tested at every turn. And then you look at these people just doing whatever their flesh desires, and it seems like they're winning. And in your mind, you like F. That's what my grandma used to say. She's instead of saying the actual the so-called curse word, because people don't know what curse words actually are pursuant to the scriptures. The root speech, instead of using the actual root speech, she would just say the first letter F. That's how you feel. Like, this some BS, man. But as you read, you begin to realize, okay, you realize what the end of the wicked is, and you realize that we're being built up for a specific time of testing that the rest of these people, they're not going to be ready for. When SHIT really hits the fan in this place, it's going to be a pop quiz to these people. And for us, we've been given a study guide on how to walk, how to lean on faith, how not to lean on our own understanding, but the Lord's way. All right, so let's go to Psalms 37. We're going to read it in the NLT. And as we jump through, we'll pull out precepts to link up with it and all. And let's see where the Spirit takes us. All right, Psalms 37 and 1, and this is in the NLT. It says, the Psalm of David: don't worry about the wicked or envy those who do wrong, for like grass, they soon fade away. Like spring flowers, they soon wither. So we know the end of wickedness is judgment. All right, nobody escapes the hand of the Lord. Okay, and we have to endure until the end for a bigger reward than anything that this world could offer. Let's pull up Proverbs 30. Actually, it's Proverbs 10 and 30. Let me get it real quick for y'all. Proverbs 10 and 30 tells us this. All right. The godly will never be disturbed, but the wicked will be removed from the land. All right. And then if you read the Proverbs 10 and 30 in the MSG, it makes it even more plain. It says, good people last, they can't be moved. All right. You're made firm when you apply the Lord's way. Good people last, they can't be moved. The wicked are here today and gone tomorrow. All right. And then also when you go to First Maccabees 2, let's go to let me pull it up here. Let's go to King James. Yep. First Maccabees. Bear with me, guys, while I pull it up. I should have had these tabs pulled up already, right? Some of these I already know I was gonna go to. First Maccabees 2 and 60 should be around there. Now, in the time of the Maccabees, they were the ultimate example to us on how to stand stiffly against another way, a different vibration. And the different vibration is being pushed on us now in the earth. Okay, in the 61 actually. It says, and thus consider ye throughout all ages, that none that put their trust in him shall be overcome. Fear not then the words of a sinful man, for his glory shall be dung and worms. Today he shall be lifted up. Right now the wicked they're being lifted up. Their way is esteemed as the right way in earth. Esau Edom's way is esteemed the right way in earth. The man that's profane, that's called, he's outside of the temple. He's completely adverse to the ways of life. His way is lifted up as right in the society. And those who follow suit with his way, they get rewarded. That's not the case for us. You understand? We're going to be looked at as, scum. Can you believe that? That's part of the cost that you got to count when you come into this walk. You're going to be looked at as evil for standing up for what's right in this world. Okay, let's go back to it here. Verse 63, First Maccabees 2 and 63. It says, "Today he shall be lifted up, and tomorrow he shall not be found, because he has returned into his dust, and his thought is come to nothing." Obadiah 1 and 18 is going to take place. And even 2/3 of our people here on this side, they're going to be burnt up with him because they clung on to that vibration. All right. "Wherefore, you, my sons, be valiant and shew yourselves men in the behalf of the law, for by it shall you obtain glory. And behold, I know that." Okay, so yeah, that's the point. This is the way. We got to be valiant in the instruction that our Father has given us. Okay. All right. But the bigger portion of our people, 2/3 to be exact, they seek instant gratification. They want things right now. They don't possess, patience, which patience is a characteristic that you need to receive salvation. If you can't be long suffering in this thing, you're not going to make it. The Lord calls for us to be that. And if you truly have patience, that also means you have faith. You trust that the Lord is going to come through the way he said he was. All right. So just like Esau didn't possess patience to allow Jacob to finish that pottage, so he ate the red meat and forfeited the birthright for immediate satisfaction, our people have taken on that same kind of mindset. All right. 2/3 of our people have. Okay. Let's go to Proverbs 12 and 26. It reads, "The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor." Who are the righteous? Those that were given the law. The Israelites. That people that the Lord set above all people. Right? "The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduceth them." Okay. And in contrast, the 1/3 of our people, those who are going to receive salvation, we're instructed to do what? Let's go to 1 Corinthians 10 and 13. It says, "The temptations in your life are no different from what others experience." Just don't think that any brother is going through, whether it be, homelessness, whether your conscience, it plagues you because you may have did some low down stuff in the world. You're financially in straits. There's no, adversity or affliction that you're gonna go through that another brother at some point in time hasn't went through and can impart understanding unto you about it. You know, there's brothers who, had to give up things in this world, so to speak. There's brothers that made millions of dollars in the NFL. There's brothers that were getting to the opportunity and it was snatched from because they stood firmly for this truth. It's a bunch of different, situations and things brothers have to deal with, but none of it is uncommon. All right. And that's to say that, okay, these are things that the Spirit equips you to deal with. There's nothing that you're going to go through where the Lord's not going to make a way to escape. Okay, so let's continue on here. It says, "And God is faithful. He will not allow the temptation to be more than you can stand. When you are tempted, he will show you a way out so that you can endure. So, my dear friends, flee from the worship of idols." Don't give in to adhering to the vibration that this world pushes out. You see, many of the things, and let me read this verse 4 again here in Psalms 37. "Take delight in the Lord, and he will give you your heart's desire." All right, so this isn't to say that anything you want in the flesh you'll get, because many of the things that your flesh wants aren't beneficial to your walk in the spirit. In fact, they can be used as tools by Satan to hinder your walk, to hinder your growth in the spirit. No, what this is to say over here in verse 4 is that the Lord is going to replace your carnal desires with more spiritual ones that are conductive to the mission, that are conductive to the kingdom of heaven being established, that are conductive to you being a vessel used to wake up members of the elect so that righteousness can go forth in the earth. Because all the things that you want here on this side, man, there's better versions of it once righteousness is established in the earth. You see, verse 5, it says, "Commit everything you do to the Lord, trust him, and he will help you. He will make your innocence radiate like the dawn, and the justice of your cause will shine like the noonday. So it's going to get to a point to where people are going to realize, oh, these were that Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter. I love reading that chapter. That's the I told you so chapter, Wisdom of Solomon 5. This was he who we sometimes had in derision and a proverb of reproach. How is he numbered among the saints? People are going to see at some point in the end, all right, that we had it right. And that the wicked who are seemingly winning right now had it wrong. They're going to realize that they had it wrong. Oh, man. I love Wisdom of Solomon. Let's go read it real quick. Let's just. All right. So this is the I told you so chapter, Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter. All right. It says, then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as has afflicted him. And you see that all over the world. Men have set up camps, going out and teaching, bringing out the prophecies, telling this man, his end. Great boldness, things that 100 years ago, 60 years ago, man, and a lot of places that wasn't going to fly. You would have got hung up, packed up. You see? Let's see here. Before the face of such as has afflicted him and made no account of his labors. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation. Those chariots beam you up, Scotty. Those chariots beaming up the elect. It's gonna baffle people. When in the Christianity, they talk about the rapture like people are just gonna poof out of their clothes. They talk about the rapture like people are just gonna poof out of their clothes and disappear. Well, when the scriptures describe that calling up, it's stated to be the most public thing ever. The scriptures say every eye shall see him, right? This thing is gonna be public. So we're reading about the reaction of the people that aren't gonna be saved. When they see the deliverance of the elect, this is what's going to be going through their minds. We're getting the inner dialogue right here in Wisdom of Solomon 5. All right. Verse 2 again from the top. It says, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for. Those chariots taking up the elect. It's going to be so strange, so out of sight to them. Verse 3. And they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this is the inner dialogue, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision and a proverb of reproach. We looked down on this guy. We thought those guys on the corner in dresses, those guys that were cussing everybody out every weekend, saying that Babylon is going to fall, America's going to fall. Those guys that were speaking out against all the abominations or against all the things the causes we stand for, the things we champion, the Rainbow Coalition, the mutilation of children, those guys that were speaking out against those things. These are the chosen ones? What? It's going to be so baffling because to these people right now, the things that they stand up for, the things that they champion, the causes they champion, in their minds, it really seems right to them. All right, back to it. Verse 4, the inner dialogue, man. We fools accounted his life madness and his end to be without honor, when in actuality, this is the most honorable thing that you could be doing. Verse 5, how is he numbered among the children of God and his lot among the saints? This is the I told you so chapter. I love reading that. Okay. Let's go back to Psalms 37. And we were at verse, let me see here. Verse 7. All right. So this is Psalm 37 and 7. And it reads, be still in the presence of the Lord and wait patiently for him to act. Don't worry about the evil people who prosper or fret about their wicked schemes. And many wicked schemes are set in store for Israel, especially the believers. Consider the organized food shortages. Gates of hell buying up, and that's a nickname for BG. All right. If you know, you know. Buying up all the farmland. Buying up everything that he can in the food supply. The guy that popped up and all of a sudden he was that builds computers. All of a sudden he's an expert on VACCINES after he had a TED talk about a decade ago now, talking about population control, getting the population down. And that's not the only time he says it every time he gets in front of a camera almost, that he wants to get the population down. But you people trusted him to stick something in your body? False flags, the demonization of those who, have come back to their heritage. What that lady that was a part of the council in Israel that was in Atlanta, she said the biggest problem for Israel is the young black community in America. The criminalization of anyone who won't consent to further experimental poison by the CDC or WHO that they mandate. That's coming again. They're gonna criminalize you. And the cream on top, the cherry on top, those who don't want to take that MOTB. All this is written to come down the pipe, man. What, you go to Psalms the 83rd chapter, where the scriptures say, "For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They said, Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against you." That's what it says in Psalms 83. So a great accusation is getting ready to come down. Revelation 12 talks about it. Let's get Revelation 12. Revelation 12. Oh, sorry. Let me get this. Read this in the KJV, man. Revelation 12:9. All right. It says, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan. All right. We know there's a people on the earth carrying out the workings of Satan, like it talks about in 2 Thessalonians, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. This devil, he's going to be cast out of that rulership seat, man. And his armies, his space force, all of it, they're going to be casted down and brought low. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, "Now is come salvation and strength in the kingdom of our God and the power of the Mashiach. For the accuser of the brethren," the scriptures call this man the accuser of the brethren, "is cast down, which accused them before God day and night. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and the word of the testimony, and loved not their own lives unto the death." So yeah, man, you get frustrated seeing the wicked win here on this side, but we got eternity on the other side. They got but a little time, but a little moment. Let's go back to that Psalm 37, where verse should be about verse 8 now, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, actually, I want to read one more thing. I want to go back to James 5:7. Bear with me, guys. Before we continue on here. James 5. James 5:7 says this, okay? It says, "Dear brothers, be patient." We talked about that characteristic you're going to need to receive salvation. Got to have some patience. Got to have some self-control. "Be patient as you wait for the Lord's return. Consider the farmers who patiently wait for the rains in the fall and in the spring. They eagerly look for the valuable harvest to ripen. You too must be patient. Take courage, for the coming of the Lord is near. Don't grumble about each other, brothers and sisters, or you will be judged. For look, the judge is standing at the door. For examples of patience and suffering, dear brothers and sisters, look at the prophets who spoke in the name of the Lord." Okay, and then prophets have to what? They have to endure affliction. The word that's being used for patience here in what we just read is makaruthame. And when you look up that word, it's it means just basically to be long suffering, to persevere patiently when enduring misfortunes and troubles. When you look up that word. All right. Let's go back to Psalms 37. Okay. Psalms 37:8. It says, "Stop being angry. Turn from your rage. Do not lose your temper. It only leads to harm. For the wicked will be destroyed, but those who trust in the Lord will possess the land." Okay? We want the kingdom, man. We want our blessing. We want what was promised to us. And on top of that, the truth is not the place to get your lick back. The scriptures tell you in Romans 19, "Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine. I will repay, saith the Lord." In Proverbs 20:22, it says, "Say not thou, I will recompense evil, but wait on the Lord, and he shall save thee." Okay, continuing on to verse 9 here. "For the wicked will be destroyed, but those who trust in the Lord will possess the land. Soon the wicked will disappear. Though you look for them, they will be gone. The lowly will possess the land and will live in peace and prosperity. The wicked plot against the godly. They snarl at them in defiance. But the Lord laughs, for he sees their day of judgment is coming." And we have to see that too. We're gonna get the laugh too, man, when their day of calamity comes in. Proverbs 1. The Lord's gonna laugh at their calamity, and he's gonna laugh through the men of the Lord, right? "The wicked draw their swords and string their bows to kill the poor and the oppressed, to slaughter those who do right." Now, you read that. Let's go to 2nd Ezra 16 and 70. 2nd Ezra 16 and 70 here. Let's get there. Boom. All right. So we got 2nd Ezra 16 and 70 here. It says what? "For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord." All right. There's going to be an attack. "They shall be like madmen, sparing none." This devil, he's going to show his horns. And we've been telling our people that this ain't the time to really be buddy with this man, or to put your faith in him, or to be believing the things that he says. Man, once this internet goes down and people can't put a phone up in this devil's face anymore, watch how he starts to move. It's going to be up. You hear me? Verse 71, "They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord." Okay. Now let's go back here. Verse 15. Okay. It reads, "But their swords will stab their own hearts, and their bows will be broken." Now that makes me think of where's that at? I'm thinking Psalm 69. Yeah, that is. You get that real quick. Psalm 69. And I believe it's gonna be around. Let me see here. I know it's like 20. It's around 20. Yep. Okay, let's start at 18. Psalm 69 and 18. All right, it reads, "Come and redeem me, free me from my enemies. You know of my shame and scorn and disgrace. You see all that my enemies are doing. Their insults have broken my heart, and I am in despair. If only one person would show some pity, if only one would turn and comfort me, but instead they give me poison for food. They offer me sour wine for my thirst. Let the bountiful table set before them and their prosperity become a trap. Let their eyes go blind; they cannot see, and make their bodies shake continually. So the things the condition they sought to bring upon us is going to end up being put upon their own head. Their plans of being safe, making this transition into their NWO, it's not going to go as they plan. And on top of that, when the kingdom comes, they're going to be put in bondage. It's just true. All right, let's go back to that Psalms 37. I'll read a couple more verses in that, and we'll wrap up. Verse 16. It reads, "It is better to be godly and have little than to be evil and have rich." And let me talk about that. In our walk, it may be for one brother to have a lot of substance, because the Lord is using him to disperse that substance to build up the ministry with it. And for another brother, it may be for him to have just enough. You got to be okay with either scenario. Again, our reward isn't on this side. The appreciation doesn't come here on this side. The pat on the back doesn't necessarily come here on this side. And you got to be okay with either scenario. Can you do that? If you can't, got to examine yourself. All right. Verse 17, "For the strength of the wicked will be shattered, but the Lord takes care of the godly. Day by day, the Lord takes care of the innocent, and they will receive an inheritance that lasts forever. They will not be disgraced in hard times. Even in famine, they will have more than enough." And you go to Isaiah 65, it kind of expounds on that for us. Let's go to Isaiah 65 real quick. Isaiah 65, about verse 13. Okay. Because in Jacob's trouble, man, people gonna be willing to do anything just to fill their bellies. But even then, things are gonna be scarce. It's gonna get bad out here for people. But in the midst of all of that, the Lord said He's gonna do this for those who fear Him. Right? Verse 65, Isaiah 65 and 13. It says, "Therefore, this is what the sovereign Lord says: My servants will eat, but you will starve. My servants will drink, but you will be thirsty. My servants will rejoice, but you will be sad and ashamed. Behold, my servants shall sing for joy of heart, but you shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for the vexation of spirit, and ye shall leave your name for a curse unto my chosen. For the Lord God shall slay thee, and call his servants by another name." We're gonna be in a different condition than you're in that day, in that time, as Jacob's trouble comes upon the earth, the thick of it. You see? So we're building up our riches now. You understand? All right, let's go back to Psalms 37 here. All right. What? Took me to Luke. All right, yeah. Psalms 37 and I think we're about 20. I'll read a couple more and that'll be it. Psalms 37 and 20 says, "But the wicked will die. The Lord's enemies are like flowers in a field. They will disappear like smoke." The Lord's going to burn them all up. So yeah, man, Abaratazah, the lesson was edifying. Want to give all praises once more to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakak Wadash. Want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And I want to say shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right, may the blessing of election be upon your house. Shalom.